Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new episode of the Right Info Podcast Show with your host Antoine speaking. Wishing everybody a happy first month of December, first days of December, December 3rd, 2023. Hope everybody had a good week this past week. I know I did. I got plenty of rest and relaxation. But as you know, the week goes on, got to go back to work, got to handle business and take care of stuff that has to be done. Within a few weeks, we'll be celebrating Christmas, so I know everybody's preparing for all that. Because as soon as Thanksgiving ended, all the Christmas songs started playing on the radio. Every station I can think of, and I'm like, damn. I mean, come on, Christmas already? Give Thanksgiving a chance to come on out. Leave. And then let's all celebrate Christmas. But oh well, what can you say? I look forward to Christmas myself, and I'm glad everybody had a good weekend and all, and did what they wanted to do, and they'll be preparing. Everybody will be preparing for the holidays. I know I will. So with that being said, I'm going to discuss tonight's topic on the Right Info Podcast Show, and that is minimum wage is not enough. A true living wage is necessary to reduce poverty and improve health. Now, the federal minimum wage has remained stagnant at $7.25 per hour for the past 12 years. Now, while the United States minimum wage was never truly a living wage over time, it has done less to reflect the true value of work and no longer support families in a way that it promotes health and keeps them out of, keeping people out of poverty. Now, employees, working full time at a minimum wage cannot afford basic needs such as food, housing, transportation, child care, and health care in any location across the country, no matter where you live. North, south, east, or left. West. I apologize. Sorry about the left. That just slipped out a bit. Now, recent calls for raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour are necessary, and it's very necessary and well intentioned. Now, however, even that amount is inadequate to true working families. At a true living wage now that supports a basic standard of living without food or housing, insecurity will be between $20 or 26 more per hour, depending on the state where you live in. I live in the state of Illinois, so it's between that amount. Now, additionally, it will need to adjust regularly to keep pace with inflation and cost of living increases. Now, with COVID-19 laying bare and the dire economic stagnation for many Americans, low-wage workers, now is the time to raise that federal minimum wage to meet the true case or the cost of living in any case whatsoever. Now, here's a question in the form of a debate. Well, I don't want to call it a debate, but a statement. Minimum wage versus a living wage. Now, a living wage or subsistence wage is a basic need or needs that draws or geographically specifies, data related to families' likely minimum wage for food, child care, health insurance, housing, transportation, and other needs. Now, it determines the general employment earnings necessary to meet basic needs while also maintaining financial self-sufficiency to taking into the amount of income and payroll taxes. Now, living wage is the minimum income standard that draws a very fine line between financial independence and need to seek out public assistance or suffer severe housing or food insecurity. Now, it's important to note that the living wage calculation is based on working full-time hours, 52 weeks per year, and does not, in fact, or in the opportunity, or people having the opportunity to take time off, for families, emergencies, sickness, taking care of personal business or whatever. Excuse me. And like I was saying, it does also help people to set aside any, main situations that they have to take care of. Take time off to take care of whatever little personal business they have to do and whatnot. Now, larger, purchases such as a car, a house, or retirement Those things can't be done because the wages are not high enough. People can't afford those. In order to afford those, you know, raises got to go up, pay got to go up. You can say work less hours or try to get more money, but see if you can work more hours and see where that go. That's possible. That could happen. Who knows? Anything is possible. The federal government just have to do what they have to do to make sure people have a good living wage. Make sure things are fine economically. Inflation does set in fast. It goes up, it goes down, and sometimes most people don't know when inflation sets in. So even I myself, I went through times like that. Experienced some kind of inflation in my life. Trying to save money and stuff, trying to hold on to what I have. You have to balance it out. In order to beat inflation, you got to know inflation, what it does, how it works, when it works, why it works, and what can be done to keep it low or keep it from affecting you. So, it's that sort of thing that goes on with all economic problems, especially when it comes to money, minimum wages increases or whatever. It also excludes the comforts that people think as essential to living, such as occasionally eating out, birthday and holidays, gifts and celebrations, cable television or streaming services, high-speed internet or educational expenses. These things can be high, very high. If you can afford it, go ahead. If not, then don't waste your time getting it. Don't stress yourself getting it. If you need it, go ahead. It's a need, not a want. Well, it's a want, not a need. I reverse that. So, if you need cable services or have to go to birthday parties, you can if you want to. But if you got the financial backing or the amount of money that you can do to go to those things or have those places, not have those places, but go to places where you like to go and do the things that you want to do, then go right ahead and do it. But as far as the minimum wage is concerned, it has to go up. $15 is good, but $15 is, it can go up a little bit more depending on what the situation is. But the situations can get very stagnant, very high. So, in my opinion, $15 is good, but it can go up a little bit more to match the standard of living. The cost of living is high nowadays. Trust me. I've seen people and known people who've experienced a high cost of living and trying to, make matters work for themselves. Some tried, some failed, some succeeded. Me, I'm in between. I do everything in my power to make sure I keep up with the cost of living. So, I spend less, I eat out less, I cook a majority of my foods, and I rarely go out to entertainment anyway because everything I need and want is here at home. Enjoyment, About 15, 20 years ago, I did that. But now, as years came by, I've relaxed, chilled out, that sort of thing. The minimum wage must go up. That's a given. That's no argument whatsoever. So I'm in full support of the minimum wage increase. There are those who feel that it's not necessary because it'll hurt businesses. No. How will it hurt businesses? If you created the business, then how is it hurting your business? You had enough money to create the business, and you should have enough money to raise your pay, to give your workers more money. All the money a person invested in his or her business, then they should have enough money to pay their employees what they deserve. So with that being said, that was my full opinion of raising the minimum wage, and I think it's a good idea. It's a great idea. It's something to think about. It's something to take into consideration. Not just the federal government, but other governments of the world. They should look into that. Study how we do things, and we study how they do things when it comes to making money or increasing wages for their employees. And that'll be a great idea. If we all come together, work together, put our heads together for this sort of thing, then hey, anything's possible. And, with that being said, I'm just going to give this little podcast little ending because this is what I wanted to address because it's something that I talked about, I thought about, is something that had to be discussed. So I decided to discuss it on this show. Everybody tune in to listen to my point and see where you get it from there and what you get from it. And any ideas you want to offer, feel free to hit me up on my email at robeson1995@gmail.com. That's my email address. I use that mainly. I have two of them, but that's my main email address. It's spelled robeson1995@gmail.com. ROBESON 1995@gmail.com. And having to say that and end this podcast, I'm glad everybody's listening to it and getting the information that they need. And with that being said, this is the end of the Right Info Podcast Show with your host, Antoine speaking. Hope everybody have a wonderful Sunday and a good week. And looking forward to Christmas coming in a few weeks. I'll be delivering another podcast on this show. So everybody take care. Bye-bye. Love you all.